Hi there. Hope you have a nice weekend and you get some time for yourself, some time to rest, and some time to have fun. Do something nice for yourself, something you like. Don't forget that, most important. So, I hear from a lot of people that there is a lot of negativity around, right? And I mean, it's true. Just turn on the TV. We only get negative news. I don't know, what government think or a media outlet think. What's the point, in never talking about the good things that happen? How many people have survived? How many countries, for example, are helping India right now to get through this tragedy, right? And how many people have been cured from COVID? And how many older people can now see their grandchildren again? It's kind of like sad to focus and to get shown only the negative things. Well, but we can't change them. We can't change the media. So, we have to create the change, right? And if there is so much negativity around, I feel, it is our duty to life and to humanity. Like we owe it to life to create a good atmosphere, we can't fight this negativity, but it's like darkness, right? You can't really remove darkness or fight darkness, but you can shine a light, right? So I feel we should not allow this negativity to pull us into a downward spiral of negative feelings and fear and worry and complaints and resistance and, frustration. I think it's our duty, each single one of us, to create a joyful, a pleasant, a loving, a compassionate, a kind, a generous atmosphere in and around us. That's the only thing we can do, right? Maybe you have more power, you can do more things, but each one of us, that's the least we can do, right? Because, it doesn't help anyone. Where does it lead us if we all fall into this trap of negativity? If we all allow this negativity to pull us further down, everybody will accumulate more anger and frustration. And then our relationships, they will suffer from that. Because then if we are full of anger and frustration, negativity, we can't talk nicely to each other anymore. We can't be kind to each other anymore, right? And the law of nature and the law of energy. You know that energy attracts its similar, right? So if you allow this negativity into your mind, into your heart, into your system, into your life, that's what you attract, and you don't want to do that. Right? Because then, on top of all the shit that's already happening, you're also creating a shit atmosphere in your own life and in your mind. But that's your sacred space, right? We can't control what's happening around us, okay? But we are responsible for our little universe. And now imagine that each single one of us lives in this tiny little universe. You can imagine that you live like, in a tiny little shiny bubble or in an egg or whatever you like to visualize or to imagine. And that is your universe. And you're responsible. What gets into that universe and what you send out, and especially what's happening in this universe, right? So this, I think, is our duty. This is what each one of us has to do. We can't just sit there and be victims of this negativity and let this negativity bombard us, because then we feel again powerless. And when we feel powerless, we don't feel good enough. And if we don't feel good enough, we don't enjoy our life, and we don't trust others, and we don't help each other, and we can't even be kind to ourselves anymore. So see where this is going, right? So imagine that each one of us has to take care of our little tiny universe, right? Your egg, your bubble, whatever you like to imagine, a balloon, right? And in this bubble, we have to practice kindness. First of all, with ourselves, self-love and self-acceptance, right? Self-care. And then we are kind to our to our nearest environment, to our loved ones. We try to bring light into the darkness, first into our own heart and mind, then into the heart and the minds of our loved ones, the people who are closest to us. And then even if we go out into a shop, and we encounter an angry person, a frustrated person, it has no sense. It makes no sense to meet anger with anger or frustration with frustration, right? So if you meet in a shop, in a public office, or wherever you go, in traffic, a frustrated, angry person, don't let them pull you down. Lift them up. See that as your duty. The nature of life, is balance. Nature always tries to create a balance. So we are part of nature. That's what we have to do. We have to create the balance and not just stay there, like, oh, can't do anything. So just let negativity hit me until I'm down on the ground. No. So, we can't wait that government save us and that, politics are finding the solution. We have to do that. We are the society. We have to take care. And we can't change the big things. But if each one of us takes care of their little own universe and each single one of us tries to do his best, and even when we talk about, environmental protection and all this stuff, you can choose in your home to use less plastic and to do something against climate change. You can eat less meat, you can whatever. Like it's all in your hands what you do in your little universe. And we are so many. And if each one takes care, then we don't need governments to take care of us and to save us. Because then we notice how strong we are as a collective if we go forward with the same intention to make the world a better place and to make us better humans and to live in more harmony with the planet and the other living beings, right? That's our power. That's the decision each single one of us has to make, right? So be careful next time, when you feel negativity around you. Imagine that you are in your tiny little universe and you decide what gets in and what bounces off at the walls of your bubble, at the walls of your egg, right? You can look at it, you can have your opinion about it, but it can't really touch you if you don't allow it in. But you can also choose what you are sending out. Right? You can fall into the trap of negativity and start complaining and start feeling bad, or you do the opposite. Remember, what's your objective in life? What's your goal in life? You want to live a joyful life, right? Then everything you do, everything you say, everything you think has to bring you towards your goal, right? If not, it brings you into the opposite direction. And then again, you feel worthless and powerless, and you feel like you're not good enough, like you're not making it. You're not able to create your happy life. You are, and you know that. So just lift yourself up. Don't let negativity come over you. Do the opposite. Go for a walk, listen to your favorite music. And that's not, indifference. It's not pretending that nothing bad is happening, right? It's not like suppressing negative feelings, or it's like becoming ignorant. No, not at all. But who does it serve? What does it do if you sit at home in a negative atmosphere, feeling bad, complaining to your friends and your neighbors about the situation, about what's going on? What good does it do? It's useless, complete waste of time. Right? So I'm not talking about indifference. I'm just talking about taking care of your tiny little universe. And if you have more energy and more power, then go out on the roads, on the streets, and demonstrate if you want to create a change, right? But don't just sit, like a frozen from fear, and let this negativity attack you. Because that doesn't serve anyone or anything, right? Plus, remember, negativity attracts negativity, and you don't want that in your life. And when you create a more joyful atmosphere, a more pleasant atmosphere in your universe, then that's what you see in the world, and that's what you hear, then that's what you feel, and that's what you attract, right? So That's what I wanted to say. Let me see. Sometimes already, I mean, we've talked about this before, right? You know that sometimes, right? Maybe you get hooked to a certain feeling, right? Maybe you get hooked to a certain story you hear on the news, and it doesn't leave you, right? Then imagine that you're sitting in your tiny little universe, your egg or your bubble or whatever you imagine. And it's like you threw out a fishing rod. It's like you threw out your fishing rod and you got hooked into this bad story, into this drama, into this misery. But it doesn't help if you get emotionally hooked to that, but then you can't change it. So you want to unhook from it. So if you notice that there is a certain story, a certain event, a certain whatever feeling, or the story of a person or someone sad, and you get hooked to it, that means you think about it constantly, you got attached to that thought. Imagine that you're pulling back in your fishing rod, your fishing line, your hook. You unhook energetically from that negative energy and you pull it back in. And then again, in your universe, you are creating a positive atmosphere. With reading positive stuff, with watching positive stuff, with listening to uplifting music, with praying, with mantras, with physical exercise, with healthy food, with walks in nature, with calling your best friend, with being kind to someone, with telling someone how much you love them, how much you appreciate them, with making a little present for someone, bake a cake for someone, go beyond your mind's egoistical needs and desires. Do something for someone else, that shifts completely your emotions from a negative into a positive state of compassion, of expansion, of love, of gratitude, right? So there are so many ways. And it's tiny little steps. Nobody's asking you, wow, to start a charity organization or to go to Africa and save the poor. No, just tiny little things in your tiny universe. Take care of your house. Make your house a lovely place. Make your mind a lovely place to be. Make your body a pleasant place to stay in. And then you attract pleasantness and you share pleasantness. And that's how we can share the light and that we can bring light into this darkness of these times. And take advantage of the fact that we are becoming more aware. We are becoming more aware of what's going on. We are becoming more aware of our power. We are becoming more aware that we don't have to blindly believe everything media or politics is telling us. We have our own mind. We have our own intelligence. And we can make our own decisions. Right? And we can give meanings to situations. And those meanings we give to situations determine how we feel, how our atmosphere inside of us is. So remember who you are, okay? Don't allow this negativity to pull you down because it has no benefit at all, right? And remember that your goal is to make a joyful, pleasant human experience as a soul in this lifetime, on this planet, as a part of this planet. And don't wait for others to save you. Don't wait for others to make this world a better place. You started. That's our duty. We are not clients of this planet. We're not clients of the politicians. We are the society. And even if they maybe don't want to hear us, we have a collective power, a collective consciousness. And that's what we can lift up. So just try it out, nothing to lose. If you don't believe it, it's okay, but try it out, Try it out and get out of this negative downward spiral. Life is still good. There's so much to be grateful for every single day, even in the worst times. So take good care. Have a beautiful weekend. And I'm really happy to hear from you and to connect with you. And I would love to know where you guys are all from and and how the situations are in your countries and how you feel and yes. So, or what you need, do you need more help with meditation? Do you need more help with some physical movements to bring your energy up? Let me know, and then we can address it. So, thanks. That's Ganesha. Ganesha is the god that helps us to remove obstacles. And it's not some God that lives outside of us. Ganesha's strength and powers, they live in us. We just forget that we have them. So invoke the powers of Ganesha in you that help you to overcome any obstacle, thought, an emotion, anything that is an obstacle to your joyful experience of life. The elephant god, Ganesha.